Welcome back, dear viewers, and you are watching the Musings of Mavry channel. I'm your host Mavry, and today we're going to be watching Astra Lost in Space Episode 2. So, this episode was a bit delayed, I apologize for that, but last week I was on a business trip, so I was overseas. But now I'm back, everything is fine, and we are going to be continuing with this series. So last episode, the 1 hour special, right? We were introduced to some of our characters, we were introduced to the overall backstory, so they're basically stranded many light years from home, and where they are embarking on, I believe it was a 3-month journey, somewhat, back to their home system, home planet, or whatnot. And so they have commandeered a ship, which is apparently named the Astra, and maybe they're gonna go, well, not maybe, we already know that they're gonna go planet hopping, I believe 5 or 6 different planets, right? Now, we're still not entirely sure, right, as of right now, what kind of work or series this actually is, right? We know it's in space and it's an adventure, but I'm saying that, okay, so once they do find a planet, what is going to happen, right? Is it going to be focused more on the mystery aspect and there's going to be lots of strange happenings happening? Or is it more like a survival and maybe science-rooted one kind of series where they, explore around and then meet maybe some dangerous situations and whatnot? Like, what exactly is it going to focus on, right? So I assume from this episode onwards we will be getting a little bit of a taste of what is to come. So without further ado, let's just get right into the episode. Alrighty, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Kadokawa animation. Aha. Oh wow, already? The first planet? Really? A bug net? Okay, is it gonna be like a journal kind of? Well, yeah, it is sort of exciting to go on an adventure, but still, you might want to take a little bit more caution landing on an unknown planet. Oh, so there are actually life here. Wildlife. This reminds me a lot of No Man's Sky. Like, I know, it has its flaws and whatnot. But I mean, traveling to a different planet, landing, looking at the wildlife, analyzing stuff, gathering resources. Have they ever? Did they even leave anybody on the ship? They probably should. I wonder if that flying dragon thing is edible. Don't you guys have like an analyzer of some sort? This is 450 years into the future. Mm-hmm. I mean, you guys... Oh, actually, never mind. Yeah, they have a lot of different specialties, right? Come on, Astra. A good leader is supposed to be able to delegate. Uh. Okay, so this guy is... Wait, you named it already? Wait, isn't... That is a... Wait... Are those... Huh. So there's intelligent life here? I agree with her. They need to be a little more cautious here. A parachute? Oh, that's... There's gonna be a twist somehow, isn't there? I can already feel this happening. This is way too calm and serene. Oh really? Nothing happened? Hmm. Somebody did something to the ship systems? What? This thing is following them? Seriously? And I mean, they couldn't outrun it last time. Okay. So that's her ability, I guess. Dang. So they outran it this time. That's... Hmm... Yeah. You probably don't want to test that. Yeah. Yeah, true. That's not what being a leader means, but... Come on, Oh, I think I said his wrong name back there. Well, I guess the token Sundering has to have her development arc. Oh wait, she ran out? I thought she was like going into a room or something. Hmm. They look quite similar though. But yeah, I feel like these two look much more related than Chitari with her mom. What? Oh, and then so because she's up there, she's gonna be food for the flying monsters or something? How? Speaking of which, where's Kanata? Yeah. What? That looks way too far. What? Okay. Yeah, but what good is that? You remember that now? Alright. Alright, sure, sure, sure. But once he get there, what's he gonna do? Oh. Yeah, but like even if yeah. Ah, the sphere? Ah. Hmm. Dang. Yeah, but she's gonna okay. And Kitari to the rescue? Ah, that's some quick thinking. Alright, alright. Yeah. Of course, she's not gonna just change overnight, right? She still has to be the token sender, eh? Of course. I mean, I like how this is, driving him forward, but at the same time, I feel like this might also be a weakness of his. Like, bravery and recklessness are really just two sides of the same coin. Just like that. Alright, alright. But still, you need to learn how to delegate. I mean, I thought we got... Well, okay. Never mind. Wow, that looks like a nice steak. Yeah. You'd think that this many years into the future, you'd have something like this. Tehepero? Okay, that was... That's... Okay, so that's one planet off the list. Okay. Yep. There's somebody intentionally sabotaging the ship. And who knows, it just might be that dude. Alrighty, so that was episode 2 of Astra Lost in Space. I gotta say, it's quite a cliche story so far in terms of, what Kanata is doing, in terms of everybody's reactions, in terms of Kutori, and her classic tsundere antics and tropes and whatnot. It really gives off a feel of a old school anime, right? An old school work. And when I'm saying old school, I'm not saying like 1970s or something. I'm talking about maybe like 10 years ago. It is a sort of dated model, but then again, there's nothing really bad about it. It's just that because we already see these kinds of conventions so many different times, it just feels like an old story, right? A retold, rehashed story. Now, of course, for this episode, I guess it had to be done in a sense, right? We had to determine the legitimacy of Kanata being the captain or the leader of this group, and of course, I think what I'm getting from this is that in all the later episodes, we're probably going to focus on one or two different characters for each episode, learn about their backstory, what they can contribute, and show character growth, right? That seems to be the logical way to go about this kind of thing. And then eventually, learning about every single person, and in fact, with the whole conspiracy and thingy, with someone sabotaging the ship, probably we will get to that in terms of after, when we learn about all the backstories of different characters, right? So yeah, like I said, I don't particularly have any I'm fairly lukewarm towards what Kanata and what Kitori did for this episode, right? So it is what it is. I was much more interested in the actual exploration aspect of this series, or this episode in general, right? Where they go around and they gather food and water and whatnot, explore the unknowns, right? Adventure, that's what I like. It seems that maybe there's going to be spades of that. Again, this is just the first plan, so I'm not sure how it really sets the tone for the rest of the series, but I would be guessing that probably it's going to focus a little bit more on the character interactions and character development. And speaking of character development, let's talk a little bit about Kanata, right? Because, there's two ways to go about his character. So here as a leader, there's really two things you need. One is the ability to inspire people, and two is the ability to delegate, right? You don't necessarily have to be the strongest or the best at what you do, or at a particular skill, in order to be a leader. You just have to be able to recognize other people's abilities and also motivate them to unleash the fullest of their abilities, right? Now, Kanata seems to have the inspiration part down to a pat. Now let's see if he can actually delegate, right? Because, like for instance, in this situation, I believe in the last episode they all said, what their specific specialty was in. So, a good leader would have started to think, okay, we got a dude who is more well versed, more well learned in terms of biology and whatnot, so he should probably be the one organizing this kind of thing. And there's Zach, who's apparently can do everything. He should have taken that into consideration, right? Or maybe he did, and that's why he took them. He took the dude to explore and find food. Maybe we don't know. But so far, it seems that Kanata doesn't. He's more like, okay, I just need to be the strong guy and be the fearless leader for our group, right? And there's an interesting aspect to this, right? As I mentioned within the episode, being bravery and recklessness are really just, they're right there with a thin line dividing them, right? I'm not sure how meta this series is going to go. If it was a more meta kind of series, then definitely there would be some time where, Kanata's bravery might seriously backfire on him, right? And that would potentially be also a sort of character growth as well, right? Having this shadow, having this burden of his former teacher dying right in front of him because he didn't have enough power and whatnot. Sure, that's a good motivation goal. Maybe he might go too overboard with it, right? So there's two ways to go about it. Maybe one is, okay, I finally become the person that I want, and if it's the current me that I've grown into now, I definitely wouldn't let that situation happen again. Or maybe he could go overboard, and in his quest to become this kind of character does in fact end up doing more harm than good, and so then he would rein in his beliefs and maybe be more mellow in that regard, right? So that is something also potentially to look on. In terms of other characters, I also, well, okay, let's talk about that a little bit later. I wanted to talk about Ares, but first let's talk about this conspiracy, right? So this ball, this black hole or wormhole of some sort is following them around. And now that we know that the communications device was intentionally sabotaged, are these two related? Maybe, maybe not, right? It could be like the same person is trying to force them into this kind of situation, or maybe, the wormhole or ball thingy, sphere thingy is something totally unrelated, and the other guy is whoever is sabotaging the communications device just does it because he has some other kind of motive, right? They aren't necessarily going to be related. We could speculate on who it actually is, but personally I don't think that does much good right now, especially since we haven't really learned about all the character backstories as of yet. So right now this is way too early. I will say, however, that since this is, sort of like a mystery series in of itself, I think this episode also tells us why Ares is the main heroine, if you will, right? Because she has this photographic memory. And this is just a hunch, but I do believe that probably her photographic memory is going to prove instrumental in solving the mystery later on, right? I mean, it's perfect for solving mysteries if you think about it. She can recall all the different clues, all inconsistencies and whatnot. That I'm guessing right now that that's probably going to play a major role in solving the mystery in the end of who is deliberately sabotaging them, and potentially also related with the sphere thingy as well, right? So yeah, that is in terms of what I think about Ares. So that's pretty much for this episode. So it's going along at a fairly fast pace, I would say, although this first planet might be more sort of a I guess just something that needs to be done, right? I definitely don't think that the rest of the planets are going to happen, their exploration is going to be concluded so fast. I think maybe 2 or 3 episodes per planet, and maybe some travel time in between. That seems more like the normal pace, right? This first one is a little bit more accelerated because they want to get some fundamental stuff out of the way. So, that concludes my review for episode 2 of Astra Lost in Space. I will see you guys next week, and on time, I hope. So until then, see you guys, bye-bye.